3% turnout, teachers' jobs were on the line, and nobody freaking knew about it. I even checked the Athens Limestone News Courier. They didn't have anything, so, like, that's weird.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Adam, Limestone County had an election last week. Talk to us about that. What's going on with that?
Oh, yeah. So there was an election last week in Limestone County. You probably didn't hear about it. Nobody did. And what it was a tax renewal. I want to be very clear about this. This is a renewal of a tax that is already on the books. It's not a new tax. It just says okay to renew what's already there. Well, voters in Limestone County, which is one of, if not the fastest growing county in North Alabama, or actually in the entire state, the voters did reject this property tax renewal. There were actually 4 different taxes on various ballots within Limestone County. It's kind of weird. You have the city of Athens. You have the Limestone County schools, right? These are folks who do not live in the city of Athens, but live in Limestone County. You also have people who live in the city of Madison, but who are in Limestone County. And so there were some different ballots out, but nobody showed up. Nobody voted. Well, I'll say nobody. 3% turnout. And I'm just going to say that I am a pretty engaged citizen. I check the news on a regular basis. I have rarely missed an election my whole life. And I'm not a fan of electoral politics, really, but I still vote. I did not know about this election until Saturday. I was out of town for Tuesday, and of course Saturday was way too late to request an absentee ballot. Same for my wife. She didn't know about it either. And so she also was out of town Tuesday, could not vote. I asked around, some friends and neighbors, family members. They didn't know about it either. And these are people who pay attention, who vote on a regular basis, people who, in some cases, have ties to education and are very much interested in this, because these property tax renewals, what they fund is the local funds in our school systems. Because in every school district, you have locally funded positions. You know, it could be extra teachers, it could be custodians, cafeteria workers, special education assistants, art teachers, for example. So the state does not fund all of the teaching units and support staff that you need to run a successful school district. You have to have local funding for that. And so this is the local funding that was rejected. And frankly, I think it is a little bit disturbing. There was misinformation spread that it was a new tax, according to Madison City School Superintendent Ed Nichols. And I can attest that I received a strange text message. It was from a 256 area code number, so that's our area code. I received a 256 area code text message on Election Day morning telling me to vote no against this tax, that our taxes are high enough already. And that was concerning because I had not seen the first bit of effort on vote yes to renew. Now, and I mentioned this to you yesterday, Jacob, that the city of Huntsville had its property tax renewal a few years back. And you remembered, just like I remembered, there was a legitimate yes campaign that was run. And it was all sorts of people were involved with it. You had PTA moms and the schools foundation type people, businesses, school board members were speaking out about it on a regular basis. There are restrictions on school districts and how much they are allowed to campaign for a tax renewal vote because of some history there in the legislature kind of cracking down on that kind of activity. Sources within Limestone County Schools told me the only thing they were told about it was through an email from their superintendent on Monday. the day before the election. That's past the time to vote absentee and a little late to get the word out. And so I think what happened is that there was literally no campaign to say vote yes. But there clearly was, at least on some level, a vote no campaign.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
Now, whether it's tied to local Republicans or what, I think is to be determined. Somebody sent me a text message, which means either there was a volunteer or a paid staffer sending out text in Limestone County on election day in opposition to a tax we already pay. Right? In Limestone County schools, let's make no illusion about it, is not a well-funded school system. Okay, this is not Mountain Brook or Vestavia. Limestone County schools just now added art teachers to the high schools like last year. They had no art in entire high schools, no art classes. There's, a real stark difference in the level of staffing provided at Limestone County schools, even compared to like Huntsville City schools. And so, if there were cuts in funding, if this tax renewal does not happen, it would be devastating. It would be devastating to the school systems. The good news is the tax sunsets in 2025, which means there is time to request another election. But that's going to take a little time. You've got to go through a process. You've got to request the election. But Lord help us if they don't run a yes campaign, because turnout was 3%. That's 2,389 of the county's 77,961 registered voters. Wow. And so what it appears is that a very, 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 very small margin of anti-tax right-wing extremists came out and it killed funding for local schools in North Alabama, in one of the fastest growing counties in the state. So that's a travesty. And frankly, I point blame at everyone, even myself. But the fact that I didn't know until Saturday is testament to how poorly it was advertised. Where was the local media? Where was the superintendent and the school board members? Where were the education organizations? Right? Superintendents, the school boards, the educators, the principals, they all have organizations that they pay dues to. Where were they? What about the PTA? There's just a lot of questions that I have about how this could happen. And, more importantly, what's going to happen next?
Right.
So is there a plan in place? As a resident of Limestone County, I plan on contacting the school board and finding out what the hell's going on, because this is really sad, and we shouldn't see our students and our educators put at risk because folks didn't want to run a campaign. So that's all I got to say about it.
What about the AEA? Did they not weigh in on these kinds of things?
That's a good question. Where were they? There are, restrictions on some of the things they can do electorally because of their agreement with the Republicans to do payroll dues deduction. And so they have, sacrificed some.
But they have their PAC, right?
Absolutely.
Obviously, I would just assume that in the same way. Well, I don't know. I guess can unions use dues money to advocate for, can unions use dues money for electioneering in nonpartisan ways, like for an ordinance? I don't know.
I think I've been told that C3s are able to do that, to some degree at least. I'm not a lawyer by any stretch. I get that there are restrictions, on various entities and how they engage in electoral activity.
Yeah. Nevertheless, they've got the PAC, though, and they can do, like, whatever the hell they want with that, right?
I mean, if they could send me a postcard encouraging me to vote for Republicans
Right.
every legislative cycle, I think they could probably send a postcard telling people to vote for property tax renewal. But now, my understanding is that the AEA doesn't use their state PAC for local elections. But, you know, perhaps they should reconsider.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
All right. Well, thank you for that, sir. Appreciate the updates. Very important, you know, really important stuff going on there. And hopefully the second election is a little bit better than the first.
Yeah, and thankfully Connor has some, you know, answers for us because he has quite a bit of experience. Hopefully he has some guidance on how we can do better. Because that sucks. That just really, I mean, it stings. It sucks. Like 3% turnout. Teachers' jobs are on the line. And nobody freaking knew about it. No. I mean, I even checked the the Athens Limestone News Courier, which is the daily paper in the county. They didn't have anything printed on Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Wow.
So, like, that's weird.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
So, anyway, hopefully Connor can fill us in while he tells us a little bit about what he's been up to.
There you go.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.